devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay, so shall we start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna devotees, welcome for morning Srimad Bhagavad Gita class. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. So today we will be discussing the 9th chapter, 9th verse. So I will read the verse. Nacha mam tani karmani nibaddhanti dhananjaya udasina vad asinam ashaktam teshu karmasu. Translation: O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. So this chapter is about the most confidential knowledge. So most confidential knowledge is that which even though sometimes looks like it is there, written all over the world, like Prabhupada has taken it and given it to everybody in all the different languages, in all possible countries of the world, but still it remains a confidential knowledge. So how do we understand that? So that means while one may know the language, while one may be an expert in the language, but still the ability to understand that is the most important thing. And if one doesn't understand the meaning within that, not just the language, then one cannot actually get the revelation. And this, of course, can only be done by hearing from the qualified person, from a pure devotee, and from the Lord himself, and from the pure devotees and their representatives. So therefore, this chapter is very important. Like, for example, a simple thing we can say, like Krishna is saying somewhere earlier that Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha. That means he's saying, my birth and activities one has to know in truth. Tattvataha means truth. That is the ultimate truth. But everybody, in India and of course now abroad, people know, okay, there was a person called Krishna and he was born and he was supposed to have done these activities. Many people believe he did. Many people say, okay, it is mythology or whatever, but they do know there is a story like this. In their mind, it's a story. But still, that doesn't mean they know Krishna, right? That means Tattvataha means you should understand who really is Krishna. And there are many aspects of Krishna. So here in this chapter, many clarity has been given. And Prabhupada, I have read elsewhere also that, while we may know so many things, but we cannot know Krishna fully. Why Krishna himself doesn't know himself fully, because he keeps his powers and all his opulences keeps expanding. So he himself discovers many aspects of it and he surprised himself. So that is the situation. So how can we understand him fully? But nonetheless, we need to understand some of the core principles of who Krishna is. And in that sense, this particular verse is also being spoken. And here he is saying that I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. So the point here is the Supreme Lord it's not that the Lord does not have any activities to perform. The Lord has many wonderful activities, both particularly in the spiritual world. That's what Prabhupada writes in this particular verse, that he has, in the spiritual world, he's always engaged. And he's quoting Brahma Samhita 5.6. It is stated that Atma Ramasya Tasyasti Prakritya Na Samagamaha. That means in the spiritual world, he's involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities, but he has nothing to do with this material activities. Samagamaha means that doesn't mean he's not got to do anything with material activity. He performs actions, but he's completely neutral. That we can understand in the 3rd chapter. If you see, the Lord is talking about to Arjuna in the 3rd chapter, verse number 22. He says, Name partasi kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. And he says, Nanavaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. That means, O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the 3 planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Therefore, it is not like that he performs any activities. He performs, particularly talking about the material world, but he is completely neutral to those activities. This is very important. That means he performs activities in this material world also, but he's completely neutral to it. That means, one of the opulences of the Lord also, we know that it's about renunciation. Therefore, the entire universe is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like, if I have so many things in my house, not only wonderful things in my house, I'll always be hankering, oh, no, this is mine, no, this is mine, whoever guest comes, I will take that and show, this works like this works like to show, like, no, my attachment to that thing and how I want to actually show more deeper engagement in that particular object. But Krishna has produced this amazing universe, but he is completely renounced about that. Okay, you take it, you take it free. Whoever wants to enjoy this particular universal, the material creation, whatever be it, from the Brahma Loka down to the Patala Loka, all of this creation, he's just given it for free for us. If you want, you enjoy. But I have got nothing to do with this. And even in another chapter, in 4th chapter, I think 4.23, I think 4.23, yeah, he's saying 2 verses are there, 2 and 4:13 and 4:14. Now here he says, he's saying, this Chaturvarnam Maya Shushtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha Tasya Kartaham Api Mam Vidhi Akartaram Avyayam. That means here also Prabhupada writes there, he's writing Krishna conscious. And as Krishna is transcendental to the system of the 4 divisions of human society, therefore Krishna, even though he is the creator of the intricate system within this created world, how the living, particularly the human beings live, he is saying, while I am the creator of all this, but still I have got nothing to do with this, and I am above all this. These are some of the things that he's saying. And the next verse he says, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phala spruha iti mam yo bhajanti karmabir nasa badhyate. He's saying, there is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. So this is most important. That means the Lord actually, while he is the doer, he is the creator, he is everything, even for this material world, but he is not at all attached to them, and therefore there's nothing that is coming as a result of his actions also. That is very important. And he extends this to say that one who understands this truth about me, this chapter we are reading today is the 9th chapter, which is basically the most confidential knowledge. That truth we need to know, that the Lord is actually not subjected to any influence of this material world. He is above and he is beyond, and he is also the creator of all of these material things. So it is all performed. Whatever happens here in this material world, while he may act, but this creation and all that is not something which he endeavors to do. He says, by my will it is created. Just he thinks, okay, I want to give mercy to these living entities who are hankering for happiness, independent of me. Okay, I'm just by my will. That means I will just create from my mind, okay, I want to give this for these people. When he thinks, only these things are created, and that is created by his various potencies, he's saying. That means it is not physically done by him, but by his various energies. But his energies are in complete control of every minute details that is there. If I'm able to move my hand from here to here, that is also controlled by his energies, even though he has got nothing to do with, my ability to move from here to there. But it is his energy which is working to create. And he is not, in one sense, it is driven by my desire to do whatever I want to do. He's given the sanction to me to do that. That's the other thing. And that sanction is the overall higher principles. And how it is executed is through his various potencies, which he has got, personally has got nothing to do with it. And Prabhupada here gives a nice example. He says, if you look at a judge, he's sitting there in his bench in some high court or some Supreme Court in one small place, and he's actually causing the death of a person. He's saying, I'm giving a judgment to hang this person. And then he's giving a judgment to put a person behind bars. Or he's giving a judgment that, in a litigation, that so much of wealth usurped by someone else, or which belongs to one which someone has taken. And he says, gives an order that that money has to be restored to this man. So he's giving so much of wealth to this person. But the judge is not affected by any of these things. Okay, he has given, and the person there is enjoying or suffering the result of what the judge's judgment is. But this judge has got nothing to do with this. He simply gives the order, goes home, and does what his little work or whatever his personal activities are. He's not at all affected. Therefore, oh, how did that go? How did that money be spent? He has got nothing to do with that. So Prabhupada is giving this nice example. While he's the cause of that action, but he has got nothing to do with that action. So that is important. So these are some of the intricate things that we need to understand when we are trying to understand Krishna, because sometimes many people take Krishna to be an ordinary person like us. And I have seen many times, and I quote this very often, but this is something which is pretty critical. Even last week in the Kannada class in temple, I was giving this. People think, oh, Krishna or Rama, they also suffer their fate. Or, they are also subjected to karmic reactions. And therefore, Lord Rama went to the forest for 14 years because, he had to go through a curse. Or Lord Krishna was killed by a small arrow on his toe because, he had a curse. Well, this is very impersonal way of thinking and not understanding Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Devotees never fall for such things. They clearly understand, oh, how Krishna is actually tricking these people. For these people to think that they are right, he's leaving something called a body there to make them understand, yeah, Krishna is an ordinary person. Because these rascals, in Prabhupada's words, want to think that Krishna is an ordinary man. Therefore, Krishna does not want to disappoint them. He says, okay, I will leave a body so that you can get convinced that I am only an ordinary person. But a devotee of Krishna never falls for that. He understands, oh, Krishna, you are such a great personality. You are actually so merciful even for these non-believers. You are trying to give them some food for their thoughts so that they can be happy in their own world of foolishness. So that is the greatness of Krishna. I end here. If there are any questions or any comments, welcome. Hare Krishna.